Hello. Today we're gonna talk about user's interface. I have to say this won't be a short video. We have a lot to talk about, and especially I'm gonna show how to make a user interface using ReaImGui. But to start, let's just look at the options that you have when making a user interface. First off, you have a lot of JFX functions to use. These functions are really low level functions like draw a square, get the mouse position, get if the mouse is clicked, and draw a line, put a character. So it's really low level functions that you can use to draw a user interface in a blank canvas that you can open with a Reascript. And people, what they did is make some libraries on top of it. There are three common libraries that we won't gonna talk today. The first one is, let me go back to the first page, is simple GUI template for scripts from Eugene 2777. It's a very common, or was very common interface. It's really simple, but it can do a lot of things. Many people have many forks. I have one. If you go to the page 3 at the commentary 101, you will see my fork, where you can grab it here at the download links. And my fork is a fork from another fork, and I am just grabbing many things that this user made. The fork that I get is from this script MIDI X Machinima from Robbio. I really like his modifications to this library, and I really like this library for some things. And I also really like this script, okay? MIDI X Machina is, if you don't know, go check it out. It's really good for randomizations, and Euclidean rhythms are a really cool thing. And okay, so simple GUI template, really good thing to use. Another thing that you probably saw some or another script using is Locacina library. It's also made on top of JFX functions. It have version 2 or version 3 that you can use, and version 3 is available on ReaPack that you can get, and you can have a really good documentation about the functions here. It's one of the top things of this library is it is really good documented and really well made. And there are many scripts with that. For example, my MIDI transfer script, which I did using it. Another common library using JFX, much more modern, and Locacina and Simple GUI from Eugene are not currently being supported. Not supported, but being updated. But what is being updated using JFX library is Stack library, which is Reaper Toolkit, a GUI and utility for library Lua scripts. It's used at Rearticulate. It also has a good documentation here that you can read, really great documentation. Okay, and besides the JFX functions and libraries, there are two other ways that people made user interfaces. One is not an extension, especially for user interfaces, but the JS extension that you probably already know about, that I talked on how to install it on my how to install script videos. It has some functions that enables you to draw things on top of the screen. So if you open a MIDI editor and run the MIDI toolkit script, it opens, for example, these areas here that you can manipulate your MIDI by dragging. What this is basically doing is interfere your mouse clicks to not go to Reaper, and they get the script get what your mouse is doing, and using this information it manipulates the MIDI data, and it draws these things on top of your screen that you can call like a user interface or frameless user interface, that you can use it for drawing things on the screen. Okay, and another extension that is what we're gonna talk about today is ReaImGui. It's not made on top of JFX. Actually, it's made on is a C++ extension. Bring it to Reaper, and this is it's a port from ImGUI made on C++ too. This ImGUI is used on a lot of things. Actually, you can go on the gallery and see many things that are done with it. If you saw some screenshots of the leak of GTA 6, you can see that Rockstar uses ImGUI, and many people at games and many studios use ImGUI too. I am looking for a page that showed which studios was using ImGUI. It was and here you have a list of many studios using ImGUI, and the list is really long, and it's really really big studios like EA, Alan Wake, so Remedy. It even have some screenshots, I think. Let me look at that. Yeah, so here you can see the ImGUI. Cool. So what Cephilion did is bring all of these functions for Reaper, and you can use it at Lua, at ELL, at Python, and at C++ Reaper extensions. You can also make these GUIs. Okay, and a really good thing about ImGUI, different from the others options, is that it runs on your GPU instead of your CPU. Also, ImGUI is really easy to learn. So this is for people that are just starting to do like the first interface. This is a really great start. But also ImGUI have many functions that you can, for example, draw and make. If you want to make your own button, you can do with ImGUI, because it enables you to draw with low-level functions. For example, here it is demonstrating some low-level functions like draw a line, draw an arc, draw a curve, a triangle, boxes, an hexagon. So you can, although you have really high-level functions that like just one line to insert a button, which on the other libraries would be like a paragraph to insert a button, on ImGUI you can do with just one line. You also can do in ImGUI your own things, your own buttons, your own widgets. So you have really a good thing of both worlds. And if you want to look more examples of ImGUI, you can also go to the ImGUI GitHub and look at the gallery and look for examples and see what people make with them. There are really great examples that you can search here. Things like really advanced. But at Reascript community there is a lot currently already using ImGUI. For example, the item modifier from Bird. I really like this script. You even have this thing that he created to show the items you have selected and show the waveform, which he did by using the low-level drawing things. And it shows the waves really great. You have many buttons here. You can see also this script, which is really great. It's paranormal effects router, really great script, also using many low-level things for drawing and showing your effects list and showing many the containers and things. A really great way to show containers. But we're gonna just use for now the high level stuff. We won't gonna draw anything ourselves. And here is another example, just using things low level. It's just using things high level, like primary buttons and things like that, which is a script that I made, track snapshot. So good thing to us to start learning about graphical users interfaces. Okay, so ImGUI have many functions that you can use. I recommend, if you want to look what the widgets it has, I recommend searching ImGUI at the actions list and search for ReaImGui demo. Here it is. Of course, you need to have it installed already. If you don't have, look at my video on how to install script. But basically, it's through ReaPack. So just go ReaPack, browse packages, and search for search for ImGUI here. And install ReaImGUI, and then restart Reaper because it's extension. You need to restart Reaper after installing extensions. And it should be working. Search for ImGUI at your actions list, and here you can see it has many things like widgets, and then you can see you have buttons and checkbox and radios and these buttons with arrows and these numbers and text things and sliders. And you can also see, I don't know what more I can show here. Plotting is really good. You can have like process bars and these other things. And vertical sliders. Oh, drag and drop is really sick. Like you can have drag and drop to reorganize items. You could do like some drums with these. You can have color pickers. This is over the top. You can drag this to copy the color. So all of these comes already with GUI, and it's really easy to use. Most of the things you need one line to add. And a really good thing, it is, as you can see, it's a little transparent, this window. You can see on behind it. And if you go to the tools, you have the style editor, which is a really cool thing that we have, that you can also hook up at your script just for a convenience for making the script and doing your theme. So you can have like use this to personalize your script and design it a little faster. So you can put like change the colors. But one cool thing that ImGUI have is transparency. And then these things that you had with JS that you draw on top of the screen, you can also do with ImGUI, where you draw an overlay that the user can interact with. Here at the ImGUI demo, if you want to look at the ImGUI documentations, go to ReaImGUI and documentations, and it will open up all of these out of the documentation where you can read about all of the functions. Remember that all of the functions also are at your Reascript documentations, so it will also be here, but using the official documentation is a little easier to find things. And also on our famous website, you also have ImGUI. All of the things you can search here, really good site, famous for a good reason. Oh, and ImGUI also have, if you go to your Reaper preference, you have a tab for ReaImGui, and here you have some options like enable docking, so scripts can dock and be docked at the side of your screen. For example, like this, it's docked down here. Not a good place to dock. Let me dock here. So you can dock your scripts, and they look really, really good docked. And you can undock. And I will not show today how to dock and undock things, but you can learn about it reading the documentations. And here where it will render. And here you can see more configurations about the ReaImGui. So let's start now reading some code from ReaImGui. Let's start with the most basic example that we have. So head over to the Reaper ReaImGui thread and look for the example code number 1. It will open this really small window, okay? So I will just copy this code. I think this probably comes with ReaImGui installation. I don't remember. Probably yes. But I will just copy and make a new script. Let me get my Visual VS Code. It's already open on a folder that I created. And I will create a test.lua and put the things here. And I will run it. So you can see here my window, hello world, really basic stuff. But let's now try to read it and understand this, okay? So first thing is the context, okay? So let's copy this ImGUI create context, and let's head over to the documentation, is what I recommend you to doing. So go to the, let me close everything here. Just this node, we really want our design. So I'm here at the ReaImGui documentations, search for the create context, and here you can read more. I really recommend reading most of the functions that we are going to use. But basically, this context is a function that is required in most of the functions, okay? For example, the button, so let me search here, button, function button. So this reaper.imgui button will put a button, okay? And the first thing it wants is the context. It wants to add a button, okay? So this is a thing that we gonna use a lot to feed all of our ImGUI functions. It's the context that we are attaching them to. So okay, this is the context. And down here, here in the middle, you can see it declares a function called loop. And here it says Reaper defer loop. So it's basically saying Reaper, I will schedule for the next time you run scripts, you must run this function called loop, okay? And Reaper will say nothing, Reaper don't know how to talk. But at the next time, it will run this loop function, and inside this loop function it has a condition. If you open, it will schedule again this loop function, so it will keep it running until open is not true, or if open is new or false. So let's see what is open. Open starts here, ImGUI begin. ImGUI begin is what we're gonna use to start a new window, okay? At least is what I think of. But there is a really important thing that you must know here. Everything that began must end, okay? So here it began and here it ended, okay? So everything that begins must at some time end. So okay, everything that begin must end, and later we're gonna see that everything that you push, you must pop, okay? So okay, here the begin is basically saying if the window is visible and if the window is open. Let's say like this, let's first get our print function, our famous print function print. I should just copy this, but yes, I already know it. So you probably know this on the back of your head already. Show console message to string val1 / -n. Okay, so we're gonna say print visible and I put the visible open. Say open. Okay, just to watch the variables. Okay, so let me run this. Okay, it closed the script, it was open. Now it is printing constantly visible true, open true. If I close with this area here, the arrow, it is saying visible false, open true. Okay, open basically means that it is not closed. Okay, as you can see it, when at the frame that I click to close the script, instead of saying open true, it said open false, and it closed the script. Why it closed? Because this didn't schedule the loop function again. Okay, so visible is basically that thing, that arrow there, here. Oh, and by the way, as you can see, it started folded. Reaper will save things about your script, like the position it is. For example, if I leave the window here and I close it and run again, it's here. How it know where it is? Okay, if I close it and I run, it's here again. It remembers because it uses the context name to save it. If I rename it, for example, to my script and this strange thing, and I will close this up here. Now I use save with this strange name. If I run, it won't be at the same position. You can see it's at the default position. So Reaper saves a lot of things about the script using the context name. Okay. But okay, here the ImGUI begin, and here is the name of the window, which is my window, and true is just if we are going to see that arrow or not. Let me put false. Oh, if you are going to see the close button, sorry. So now you can close this unless you go actions and close this. Okay, what is open? Articulate is open. Let me close this. Okay, so these are the basic things of how to start a window. You must begin and you must end. Okay, and the end we put inside this if visible. Okay, so here it is adding a text saying ImGUI text hello world. You must think if you used some user interface libraries, you must think where, but it isn't saying where to add the text. This is because the ImGUI have this thing that it's basically drawing things online. So if I add more texts like hello guy, hello mom, hello cow, hello vegan, and I save this, you can see this is drawing line by line each thing. If I add a button with here ImGUI button, and I say the CTX is the CTX, the label will be my button, and here is the size. I don't want to set the size, so it's optional. You can don't need to put anything. If I save this, it closes the script. If I save again, you can see the button is on the next line. Okay, so this is how ImGUI work. It's putting things online. If you want to put something on the same line, you basically say same ImGUI, same line, and you don't need the other things. Just if in case you need it, then you probably will need it if you need it. Save again. So it's now on the same line. Really cool, right? You can also set the position that you really want, like, oh, I want on the pixel after 10 pixels to the left or anything. But I won't cover this on this video, but it's really simple. Okay, so now we just saw the basic of this really small script, of the smallest script that we can have, and we can use this to build our own script upon. But before that, let's just head over to here the actions list and look for ReaImGui demo. Need to drink my juice. And ReaImGui demo, and let's open it on our IDE. It's a really small script. ReaImGui demo. It's the script that has all of the things at ReaImGui. It just have 8,000 lines. It's like just a small thing, right? And here you must think, okay, how can I deal with that amount of lines? There are two main ways that you can find the things that you want here. Let's say you want to study how the demo uses, I don't know what you can see here that sounds really good. Let's say that you want to go here and study how the plotting works. Let's say the progress bar. Then you can go, for example, on the code and search some string that you found here. For example, you could search this that happens just before this or the progress bar line here. So progress bar, and we can search for the exact same thing. So okay, here you can see it is using a text to put the progress bar, and it's putting at the same line to be the same line as this. And here it's using a function called progress bar, and then you can see what is this and look more and try and understand it. It's a really good exercise to learn about the code. Oh, a really important thing that you might be already questioning yourself is that the prefix of the function is a little strange, right? ImGUI.text, and as you can see here on the text is reaper.imgui underline. Okay, so this is how the functions will come to you, and all the functions comes inside of our reaper table. This reaper dot is a table which comes with these functions. And but what this demo script does right there on the top is a really small code. If you prefer to use this prefix, you can just copy this. And this is basically creating ImGUI table and searching for inside the Reaper table any functions that has the ImGUI underline. And if it has, it adds this function to this ImGUI table. So now after this, you have all of that reaper.imgui, you have at the imgui.function. It's a little syntactic sugar that you can use. I think it's really good, but you decide if you want to use it or not. For this video, I will stick with the default way to write things, so reaper.imgui underline. But if you want to do the other way, just copy that small code at the top of the demo script. Another way you can find things inside ImGUI demo, it's open your Reascript IDE, run the script, and go to Tools, Metric and Debugger, and then tools and show item picker. Okay, now let me close this. Oh, sorry. But this is this intended behavior. It is to crash the script. Okay, and it will crash on the exact line that where you at widget you click it. So let me open, for example, plotting, and let's try to see how it's putting these lines. So tools, method debugger, tools, show item picker. Now where I click will break the code. So I click here. This is the intended behavior, and you can see, oh, it breaks it at the line 1875. If you go to this line, you will see how it is using the plot lines to do that thing. And if you have the the Reaper IDE open, you can go to the error, and down here, oops, is where you can study the plot lines that is doing that thing that we wanted to know more about. Okay, now let's try to start our first script using ReaImGui. What we're gonna use is some functions like sliders and buttons and checkboxes and a menu to try to make a user interface for the script that we made some videos ago, which is the video to randomize the items. So what we will have is like a slider to set the minimum random position, the maximum random position, set the minimum rate, set the maximum rate, set the minimum pitch, set the maximum pitch, set the minimum volume in the decibels, set the maximum value in decibels, set the pen, set if you want to randomize the item, so this is a checkbox, and a button down here to the user randomize the selected items. And for that, let's open this here. So this is the folder with just the test.lua. We will leave it here for now, and I will create a script that is gonna be the graphical user interface for this script. So for this, let's create a class called classes randomizer items GUI.lua. Okay, we created the file. And also let's create a folder called functions, just to organize ourselves. So we're gonna have our main file here, and it will call files that are inside the functions. For example, randomize function.lua, and also a file called user interface.lua. And let's load these two files inside the main file. For this, I will use the require command. So it's really quite simple thing. It's just require functions, and then the name of what we are requiring, which will be user interface. Okay, you must be thinking, okay, but what is this first line? This first line is just to pass to add to the package.path is the path that require will search files, and what we are doing with this is adding the directory for the current or for this script to the path. Okay, so this path, so this the directory of this script is being added to the path. So inside this path, which would be here, we add functions and user interface, which would be this file here. And we also gonna add randomize function. Okay, save it, and let's just make a function here to test. So function make a test, show console message. Let's print message here, and oops, here I will delete the test for now. So after the require, if I try to run make a test, let me run this script, it prints message. Okay, so it is requiring these two files, all right. You can read this line here and try to understand better yourself what this is doing, but basically getting the path of this script. Okay, so first thing, let's put some comments. So this will be load functions, and here some global variables, and let's delete the test. So first thing is the script version, second the script name, randomize item parameters. Oh, I call it randomizer item GUI. So randomizer item parameters. You call whatever you want. And after that, well, let's put here on the randomize functions the functions that we had for the last video where we randomized our items. So classes item randomizer with this, oops, this one here, you probably remember that we made it on a class about tables, I think. So I will copy it and put it at the randomize functions file. Close this. So the randomize functions file have all of these things here. Let me just organize because it have all of these functions. Okay, and I will put all of these functions on a new file, call it general functions.lua, and paste it here. It's just like print map range, randomize float, db linear to db. You do the organization as you think is best. I am doing this way. So here we're gonna load general functions. Let's go back to the use here. The rest of these we're gonna update later. For now, I will just leave this as it is. But we need to put all of these to be changed at our script with our user interfaces. So instead of using these values in this script, I will create a new global variable here on the main script, call it settings. So this is a table. Inside this table, we will have, let me open this here. So inside this table, I will have a subtable for position, for rate, for pitch, for volume, for pen, and for text. And it will hold the min position, max position. So settings and position, or just pos equals to a table, and minimum equals to 0, and maximum equals to 0. Okay, oops, comma. Next thing is rate equals to table, minimum equals to 0, maximum equals to 0, and comma. Let me just copy this. Rate, and now pitch, and now volume, just vol, oops, vol. And now pen, and now I will just create a variable called takes here, a key called takes equals to false. So whenever this is false, and it's not randomized takes, true will randomize takes, and I missed something. Let me put some commentaries. So in decibels, and here rate cannot be 0, okay, because we can't set a rate equal to 0. Okay, remember that. Okay, so this is our global settings table. What we can do now here on the randomize function is say minimal position will use settings dot pos dot minimal. Okay, oops, settings, and here we will use settings dot pos dot maximal, and same thing. So settings dot pitch dot minimal, now rate, and now volume, vol, maximal, and now pen, and oh, this script didn't have I am doing this way just because I am trying to economize a little time of this video. What would be nicer would be actually renaming the max position, for example, whenever I use it here, to this thing, setting pos max, but this way will work as well, so I am doing this way. So it didn't have a randomize takes equals to settings dot takes. Okay, so this will say if I want to randomize the takes, and I think I didn't. I was always randomizing the takes. Yeah, here count. It counts the amount of takes. If takes is more than 1, it is randomized the takes. So let's add a condition: if randomize takes, then you randomize everything. Oops, and okay, save it. And all of this can be inside a function now. So I will tab this, give a enter, and call a function randomize item selected items. For example, copy everything, paste in here. Okay, this here calls a variable called project, which is defined here inside this, but what I like to do is put this argument as here, so it is calling the project that you want, and I will say no, I think this is fine for now, just brush. Okay, so let's just give it a little try. So I will call this function and let's see if it works. Proj equals, so local proj equals to 0. Let's add an item. So it won't randomize anything because it's all set to 0 or to 1 in the case of rate. But if I set so less 500 and 500 and save and run, it's randomized the position. So I presume that everything is fine. Okay, let me save this and let's now really start our user interface. So instead of running this project, we can continue. We're gonna create a function called loop. Create a local function called loop. Okay, so therefore reaper.defer and we say loop. Oh, cannot be a local function, I think. Okay. Okay, so here is the function called loop, and here we can paste the code that we had with the smallest example we have with ReaImGui. Just so we can start from somewhere. So this one here, we copy. So at the start of this file, I will say which context we are running. This will run at when the require pass by. And here is the example of a loop function. So we copy this here, and here is the deferring. Okay. So here begin window, blah blah blah. Let's try to run this. It's open a small window. Everything okay. Let's go back to the loop function. Okay, and here on the loop function, let's start to make our first things. This is a small example. We're gonna build our graphical user interface. The first thing, we're gonna pass our script name to the create context. And for this, all of the script name, script version must be here before this require function. Actually, what I'm gonna do is put a function and call it GUIInit to initiate it and put the context here. And I will call it GUIInit on the main window just before the Reaper defer. GUIInit, save this, and run. It was already running. Save again. Great. Oh, here I put local. It cannot be local. This must be global to be run at the other functions. Okay, so it's working. So it's inside the GUIInit. I will put on more global arguments. First thing is window name. You can think of better ways to do this without using global variables. For example, declaring things here and change where you gonna require this this file. But I like to do this GUIInit and load some global variables with it. So window name, let me put a window name in comma case because it's a global. Will be script name dot concatenate with a space, concatenate with script version, and we're gonna pass window name to ImGUI begin. And let me run the script again. It was open. Let me run again. So, okay, so you can see it's the name that I passed. Randomize item parameters version 1.00. which are declared here, global variables. GuiInit. Let me comment just some global variables for GUI. Okay. What more we can do here? Now on the loop, we updated the window name. I think this is the basic things that we must do. Now let's change the window, how it appears. Okay, so for this we're gonna use flags. For searching for more flags, you can go to the ReaImGui documentation, go at the Windows section, and here window, the basic thing to begin and end, child windows, content region, debug window, docking. Okay, here flags. Here there is many things that you can add to your window, and you add by flags like no move, so you can move the window. What I like also is always auto resize, so the size will always fit what you need. What I want is menu bar, so I will call here inside loop local window flags equals to menu bar, and this will return a number. So now it will have a menu bar in our GUI, and the flags is the last argument, if I remember right. And I also want the no resize, so no resize here. Okay, so this will now disable the resize button on the user interface and open a menu bar at the top. Let's save it, close it, open. As you can see now, there is a section for a menu bar, and I cannot resize this window. Okay, so now let's set, when the script starts, let's set the size of this window. So for this I will run the function set next window size. Okay, so it wants the context, the width, the height, and flags if you want. Like, you can do this just once when the script is opening. You don't need to do this every frame. So if we go now here and search this function, set next window size, we can see flags for it. Where is the flags? The conditions for the set next window is at here, conditions inside utility. And here you have some really fun ones. What I want is condition once, which will just apply at when the user starts the script. Also, this is a good one, first user ever, that we also could use. And the difference is this one sets every time the user opens this script, and this will just set the first time the user opened this script. And this is saved and using your context name. Okay, so you can choose one of these two. I will choose condition once, so every time the script opens, it will set the size. So ImGUI condition once here. So this is a function that returns a name. Oops. Condition once, and now it wants the size. So you create another global thing, so call it key width equals to, I don't know, 250, and key height equals to 400, and let's feed it key GUI height. Okay, save it, run this thing, run. Okay, so you can see it set a rectangle interface, which is, I think, a good size. Now here, I will add another thing as the flags. So I will say if condition if pin, then window flags equals to window flags, and let's add another flag to it with window flag topmost. This new flag that I'm putting here is just ensuring that our script will be on the top of every other window. This is really good for MIDI scripts. For example, if you had a MIDI window open here, and then you open, for example, your MIDI, your script here, and then you're gonna edit. Where is your script now? So we're gonna use this topmost to keep our window on top. But I am adding this if pin to add it as an optional thing. So I will put here if pin equals to true, for example. And if I close this and run again, as you can see now, I can change the focus. And it is not hiding our script. And what I will do is put a option on our interface so the user can pin on or unpin our script. Okay, so let me see if I am done with the window. I think it's okay. Let's change the font that we are using. Okay, so here at the GuiInit, we're gonna start a font variable. So just font, I think, will be okay. And we're gonna, for starting a font, we need to first create the font. So create font, ImGUI create font. Then we say which font. I will say sans file. Oops, sans serif, not sans file. Sans serif, and the size 14, no flags for now. You can put your own fonts with your script. You can, and with that you can use this for showing drawings, like you put a drawing, vector drawing in a font, and then scale it up using the size of the font, and then you can use vectors inside ReaImGui using fonts. And after I create the font, I will attach the font so our script can use it. So just this attach font, and then on the loop we're gonna need to activate it. So we push it. So okay, you need first to create, attach to your context. As you can see, this one here don't have a context. So you attach to the context, and then you push to your window. Okay, so before, okay, so let me comment here. Windows settings, font, begin. On the font, I will say, what I will say now? Push font. Yes, this push font, and we say font. And everything that you push, you need to pop. Okay, so we pushed font. Now we need to pop the font. Okay, so wherever you where you pop the font is where the letters will change to the default font. For now, I will put everything on the font. So after the if visible and this end here, I will pop the font. Pop font. I started it before the begin, so our window name is always also using our font. So let me run the script. It was open. Let me run again. So you can see now it's using this sans serif font for the name of the script and everything inside it. You can also use fonts for, I don't know, just one text, just one button. You do that by pushing and popping fonts. Okay, we did the font. Okay, now that we did the font, there is another thing that I like to do. You can skip this if you don't want. Play or click any button and this won't interact with Reaper. And I like to pass at least the play. And you can check if the space was pushed and then play at Reaper. But what I like to do is check every key and then pass them to Reaper. For this I use two functions. That I did. So user interface. Oh, what this is doing here? Okay. Okay, let me copy here the function. So we have the pass key 2 and the post key. The post key will just send a key to Reaper, and the pass key will check which keys are pressed, get the window it need to send to, and send the message with the post key. So we're gonna say here, before everything on our loop, send keys. And here inside the send keys I will say I will pass the the pass keys is media editor. I will say false because I want to send to the main window. And but if imagine if we had a message text what's the name of this text input, for example Windows Basic, and here we have a text input. Then the user is typing like space blah 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 space. If you just pass the things to Reaper, whenever the user puts something, it would pass these commands to Reaper, and we don't want this. So we're gonna check if not ImGUI any item active, then pass keys. This will just check if some item is active, like here this item is active, and if it is, it won't run the pass keys. Okay, so now that I put the pass keys, what I recommend, you don't need to make this exact same way, but what I like to do at some kind of this stage is save a version of this file somewhere else. So I have so in the next time I make a script, I can start with this as the default, and I can already have some like the pass keys already done, many things. But I recommend you to spend a little more time in this thing, because I don't really like this GUiInit thing with all of this being global. Let me try to fix that. So we'll put this here, and I will say to everyone here that they are local, unless this one. So all of this is local now. Let me just change this to font, this to pin, this to GUI, change the name. Okay, so now they are local. I feel a little more secure. But this won't run because these require are on the wrong position. They must be after the global if I do this way. the reason for that is here I am setting a global variable called script version, script name, that must be known. So it needs to pass by here first and then go through here. So I need to put the requires after it. Let me try to run it. Oh, okay, I forgot to rename the thing. Where? Oh, this one is still running GUiInit. Okay, so it's working now. So yeah, I think this is a better way to do this. Have always the most local variables you can. And here window name. Oops. Window underline name. Come on. Window underline name. Oh, it's here. Apply. Okay, rename it all the variables. Let me try if this is still working. Still working, okay. So let's continue. Okay, window. So we have now here inside our loop the send keys, the window settings, attaching the font, and beginning. And here inside the visible we can put a comment. Oops, here is with two tabs I like for. A comment and say menu bar, and then another comment and say window or UI body. Menu bar, we will start with if begin menu bar. Then what we must do after we begin something, we must end it. So end menu bar. So if begin menu bar, end menu bar, and here we can put items. So for example, a button, and the name of it will be, I don't know, just label. Just so you can see, you can put, I think, most of the widgets inside a user interface. Here is a button. So now inside this, I will start a menu. If begin menu, because I am following, where is it? This design. So here I will have a menu for settings, a menu for presets, and a menu for about. And here I will have a button for pinning the UI. Okay, so begin inside the menu bar, I will begin a menu. And if as I start a menu, as I begin it a menu, I will end the menu. Oops. End menu. So don't confuse end menu bar with end menu. Well, where is the end menu bar? End menu bar here. Okay, so I end the menu bar and I end the menu. The name of the menu, settings. Enabling, we don't need this, and we're gonna just put a menu item inside this, which would be more likely just like a button, and I will just put the name as place holder, and I will erase everything. So now if I save this, here is your first menu with just a placeholder item inside it. So now let's add more things inside our menu bar. So begin menu we already have. Another one for presets. And another one for the about. And another one. Okay, so the next one won't be a menu. Okay, and now we're gonna add our pin button here. So it will be just a menu item. And let me put here. So first thing, the name, pin, shortcut. If you don't want something that's optional, just pass new. But we want this second one, which is if the menu item, you will appear like selected, and we will pass the variable pin to it. So if pin is true, it will be like blue. Then this item will be like bluish, and if it's false, it won't have like a background color. So just that user can differentiate. So ret vol here, we want this to be equal to pin, because this will return if the menu item is true or false. So if the pin, for example, was false when it ran it, before it ran it this function, and then when you run it, it said, oh, the user clicked on this item, it would return here true because it was clicked, and pin would return true or false. Okay, if the user is turning on the pin, it would return true, and if it's turning off, it would say false. So pin, but we don't need this first thing because we don't want to know if when the user click it. So we can just do this. Put a variable name with just something like underline, could be anything like I don't want to know, and put here I don't want to know, but it's really common to put just underline when you don't want some return value. Let's try this. Okay, now we have a pin. We can enable and disable. If it's disabled, you can see I can switch between the Foxset window. If I pin it, I cannot send it to the background, which is kind of cool. Okay, so now we have our pin on our menu bar. Now we have actually all of menu bar. Now let's make our UI body. Okay, we don't need this text anymore, just this end function. So the body, here is what we have right now, and what we must do is this. Okay, so this thing here is a text separator. So we can add a text, start with a text separator. Oops, text separator. Oh, separator text. And we say the first thing is position. Okay, save this, run the thing. Okay, we now started our thing, which is have position, and then we need 2 sliders below it. If you go to the demo, you can look that we have more than 1 slider. I like these sliders that have a thing on the middle, but the problem with this is that they must have a minimum and a maximum value. And for our script, it would be better if they didn't have a minimum and maximum value. So they will not have a this centered line here marking where you are, just a number, like this one. So this is for integers, but we want for double or floats. So we're gonna use this drag double. Let's go to the documentation. I need water. And let's search for drag double. Okay, you have 5 drag doubles. Okay, this drag double 2 will add 2 parallel sliders. I think it has somewhere around here. I don't remember where. It's something with sliders, but we don't want. I think this one. Oh, here the input double 2, drag double 2 is just 2 sliders instead of 1. Okay, but we just want 1 because we want 1 in each line and not 2 on the same line. Well, you can try to make 2 on the same line if you want. Could be cool too. But let's start with this drag double then. Drag double context label. We're gonna say minimum, and we're gonna change this in a moment. And the value of it, okay, the value of it will be settings dot position dot minimum. Okay, is this? Yeah, is this dot position dot minimum. And the speed, we're gonna make just a variable. Let's make a scope here. So do and so just that we can create some more local variables. So speed equals to 1. So let's put just speed for now. Minimum and maximum. We don't want this. New, and we want to format to show the seconds, and we don't need flags. So the format that we're gonna use is to show up to 3 decimal values, and then space and milliseconds. Let me just check if this is alright. I think I need to say it's a float. Oops, float. Save. Let me close the script and run again. Where is the script? Oh, here. Okay, now we have our first slider that is not saving the number. Why? Because look what it returned. We are not updating this this argument. This value that we must update, which would be here, right? And retval we don't really need now, but we will need later. So we will create a variable called change and change 2. So this would be change. And if you want to know change. Okay. And now we will create the second one for the maximum value. Max. Same thing for the maximum and for the maximum value. And this will be the change 2. Okay, if I save this now. Again. Okay, now we have 2 sliders that we can change the minimum and maximum value to randomization. There is just a problem. We can have a minimum value bigger than our maximum value, and we don't want to do this. So here, after the drag double, I will say if change. I can say like change min and change max min. I think this is a little clear. Change mean. Then okay, so I added this if condition to check if the change mean was changed. Then we're gonna check if change mean and the minimal position is bigger than the maximum position. Then here I have two options. The first one is to set the minimum position to the maximum position. What this will do is just a barrier, so the minimum position will just clash against the maximum position and never pass it. But what I like to do is change the maximum position to be equal to the minimum position. Okay, so what this will do is the minimum position will push the maximum position. Okay. Let me close this. And okay, and we can check if they change maximum position. We could make a else if here actually, because I think there is no way that change mean and change maximum position would be changed at the same time. Okay, and maximum position is then okay, and with that I will set the minimum position. So as the maximum positions goes lower than the minimum position, it will push the minimum position. So the same thing here, but the opposite. The same, but the opposite. Okay. Yeah, I think this is good. Let me see if I forgot something. Oh, okay. Let me just save this, see it's working. So the minimum position is negative number. If I go up, it's pushing the maximum position. Okay, seems fine. Now we're gonna set the width of these widgets. So for this, you create a call a function set next item width. So here we can say in pixels the width of it. For example, 100 pixels. Oops. Yeah. And you can see this is 100 and this is the default one. And what you can also do is put a negative number like ~1. And it will be fitted to your widget, because it would be ~1. Negative numbers are calculated by the distance from the right area to the left. So this is 1 pixel to the left of the amount of pixels you have. But we don't want ~1. What if we want this thing here be exact here? You can't make like ~0. It won't work. What you can do is put the minimum value you could. Okay. For this, ImGUI have a function for this, so we can put local FLT and say FLT me, because it's a constant, and say lowest numeric. Okay, and we use this numeric limit floats. This would return the minimum and the maximum value that we can have, and we just want the minimum. So we get this FLT min that you probably will see around some scripts, and we're gonna put it in your width. So negative FLT mean. Save it, run again. So you can see now it's exactly the width of this interface, and you can do like this if you want without the mean and the maximum label at their side, but I like this design here with the minimum and maximum written at the right of it. So what I will do is just go here. Instead of using negative FT mean, I will put more, subtract a little more, like less 30. And here I think it's fine. And you can do the copy this line to copy to the next slider, save it, run again. Okay, you can see now it's I think a good amount of design, less 30 pixels. So yeah, we need done the position. Now let's do the same thing, just copy everything, some tabs, and let's do for rate. So rate can never be 0, okay? So first thing, okay, let's first things first, change your settings. So you select everything here, and I will change just variables on this part of the code. So you change settings dot pause mean. So all of this selected now to settings dot pause dot sorry, not pause mean, to rate settings dot rate dot mean. Okay, so change it all of this, no, the maximum, to settings dot rate dot max. Okay, all seems fine. I just need to now clamp the values. So okay, for this I will need to break up this end condition and make this inside, just because if they change mean, I also want to check to say settings dot minimum, oops, equals to settings dot minimum is bigger than 0, and this, so this is basically this, or small value, and we create this small value here. So local small value equals to 0.001. So if, so this line here basically says, is rate minimum bigger than 0? If true, it will return the rate minimum. If this is false, then this end will return false, like this, and it would be false or small value that would equal to, that would be stored at the minimum value. And then it would check if the minimum is bigger than the maximum. And we can say the same thing here on the maximum. So first thing, break this up, then and same line, max. Okay, Now it's clamping whenever it change the minimum or the maximum value. Okay, before we test it, there is a really important thing that you must learn about ImGUI, is that things need to have unique labels, okay? So, for example, this here, this drag double have the minimum label, and this drag double have the maximum label. But here at the position, the minimum also have the minimum label, and the maximum also have the maximum label. And we cannot do this. This will confuse a lot the ImGUI. We can actually try and see what will happen, but it's not. As you can see, we are changing two. When you change this one, you change this one. So we don't want this. So what you can do, if you want to learn more about this, go to GitHub ImGUI. And go to the granted ask questions. Search for hashtag. Oops, I didn't enter the FAQ. Search for two hashtags. Here it says that the hashtags needs to be unique. And for example, if you want two things with the same name, like two buttons with the same name, what you can use is two hashtags to extend the name. For example, this button is using the name play, and this also with the name play, but this one is playful1 and this one is playful2. But after two hashtags, it won't appear nothing on the user interface. So what you can do is say minimum hashtag rate and maximum hashtag rate. And on going up on our code, minimum hashtag position and maximum hashtag position. Okay, so you need this every time you want the same label name. You can also have three hashtags. Three hashtags you use whenever you want to put out the actual label after the hashtags. So with three hashtags in this example, it would appear min on the user interface, but the actual ID of this widget would be position or just pos. Okay, but we just want min position and max position. Okay, so if we save now and run this, as you can see, we fixed that bug and the value is clamping at 0. I just think that the rate is moving too fast, because you probably want something like between 0.5 and 4 or 8. So let's decrease the speed of the rate speed. Let's go to 0.005. Oh yeah, this is the value that I saved here, that I like it. Save it, run again. Okay, the velocity is much better now. You can also hold shift to change fast if you want. Okay, the velocity is better now. Now you can continue there. All of the other interfaces I will do here really quick, but I won't show in this video I am doing. I will accelerate it, but you can do it, I think, yourself. So here I have my solution for now. You have the position, the rate, clamp it at 0, the pitch, the volume, and the pen. Don't forget to clamp also the pen at >1 and 1. Can not be bigger or lesser than this. And as you can see, my window got a little tight for this, so I will add more vertical space on the top, the height. Let me save this again. Okay, I think it's fine for now. And now I need a checkbox so we can have the takes, right? As you can see here, separator, randomizer, just a separator and a button. Okay, so user interface, after pen, separator text, label takes, and after it a checkbox. We don't want red val, so I will say local this. I will also put a smaller scope to this, although I don't need it. Label randomize takes. The value will be settings dot takes. Oops, settings dot takes. And here we'll return this. Let's see if it works. Yes. We just need more vertical space. Here. Okay. Almost ending now. So now we need a separator. And let's create a button. So for buttons, you could create a button just like this. Button, and this would return a variable like click it. And you could say if click it, then and something. But what we do is a shortcut. Instead of all of that, we just check if ImGUI button, then we pass the label, which would be randomize items. And we can also here set the width of it, so we say less FLT minimum to occupy all of the space we have actually. Okay, so if this, then print click it, run the thing. Okay, so here we have our button. Let's make it a bigger, have more height to it. So for example, we can say 30 pixels. Close, open, open. Okay, I think it fitted nicely with our user interface. And if I click, it prints click it. Let's now change this to randomize selected items, and say the project, close the script, open the script, open the script. Let's see if this is working. So this shouldn't do nothing, but if I add room to randomization, it randomizes the position. Let me put the same thing. So you can double click, set less this up to the same thing. So they randomize their position. Oops, rate. They randomize the rate. Do they randomize the pitch? Maximum, minimum. They randomize the pitch. As you can see, it changes colors. The volume. Let me stop randomize the position and the rate. And the pen. Oops. Nice. If I glue all of these, does this randomize the takes? It randomizes the takes. Okay, so this is most of the basics on how to make a script. There is one more thing that we must do. So head over to the Reascript front page on Reaper and look for backwards compatibility shims. This is a really important piece of code, okay? What this does is, as ImGUI and by effect ReaImGui updates, they might change something that some scripts, some functions will change and break some things. For this, Cephilium tries to maintain backwards compatibility using some chimps, which are codes that just some code that brings back the functions to the version this script was done, or at least to the expected, to the older behavior. So all you need to do is copy this part of code, go to your script, and here at the first things you will load your shim. Can be here together with the load functions. We'll do it here. So do file, get resource path, the shim here, and here your current version of time of writing the script. So just open the demo script, and look here, 0.8.7.6. So just put 0.8.7.6 and save and run again. Okay, it's fine, and now it's with a shim, so it must have backwards compatibility. And now for ending this video, we're gonna talk a little bit more about making your script more beautiful with some style. Okay, I took a little break because I was really tired on making this long video, and now we're gonna use the style editor to make our script a little stylized. So if you go to the demo script, you can go to tools and look for the style editor, which are what we are going to use now for stylizing our script. For example, changing the colors of the text. You can do many things here. This is just a convention to make stylizing our script a little easier. So what we're gonna do is hook up style editor at our script. So I can close this for now. And first thing, let me put here the script. Okay, here is the main file. We are going to the user interface, and here before this function loop, we are going to say local demo equals to do file and get the path. You can see the exact line that we are going to put here on the demo script. So if I find the demo script here, ImGUI demo, and I open on VS Code. Here is the demo code. Over there, right on top, you can see here an example on how to put the style editor on your script. And here you can have this line, local demo equals to do file and get resource path. And this is just the path for the demo script. And we are going to put this here. Okay, we already had demo. Okay, demo equals to this. And then we need to do more three things. The first thing is to start the demo script. So I do just like this. On the start of my loop function, I do demo.pushStyle and demo.showDemoWindow. So I go here on the start. Let's do right on the start here. And then we're gonna pop the style after ImGUI end. So user interface. Where is the ImGUI end? Let me close if visible. Okay, ImGUI end is at the end of this if visible. ImGUI end here with the pop font. So I pop. Okay, so we did 4 things. First thing was to have the demo functions on your script. Second thing is to push the demo style. Third thing is to start the demo window. And fourth thing is to pop the demo style, because everything you push, you must pop. Okay, so I save this and try to run the script. Let me see if it worked. Where is the script? Oh, I had mob debug open. That was why it took some time. Let me just comment this thing that we don't need anymore. Okay, and now opening the script, it also opened the demo script. And now we can go to Tools, Style Editor. And now if I change things here, it will change at our script, as you can see. So here you have a tab for colors, and here you have a tab for sizes and types. For example, you can make your window rounding. You can see the borders here. Let me put here. They go round. So let me change these a little first. The frame, let's try to make the buttons rounded. Okay, I think this is fine. Now I will change a little the colors. So first the background. I will try to make something quite different. So I made here a small design for my script. It's quite different from what I'm used to making. But I think this is fine for now. And if you want, you can toggle also the transparency here on the with the style editor. If you want to make things transparent, you just change the transparency here. If you didn't notice already, I don't want any transparency, so I will put on maximum. Some people like a little transparent. But okay, let's continue for now. So now that you made all of your changes, things looks good, go here and click So export vars. We need to export the variables and the colors. Okay, so vars will be for these things here, and colors for these things here. So I will start by exporting vars, and this is exporting to your clipboard. And here, if you have this only modified, it will just copy the things that you modified here. For now, for us, it's okay for now. So now let's go to our code at the user interface, and I will create a new function called function push team and function pop team. Okay. Now we will paste what I copied from there. So it copied 3 lines here: push style var and push and the pop. I will cut the pop and put here the pop. And now I will copy the colors, export colors. So style and colors, vars style, vars. Okay, now colors, there is more lines, so some are push and one are pops. So I cut the pop and put at the pop function. Now I can, instead of using the demo push style, I will use our push team on our function. So here, instead of, here is the demo that we won't need anymore. So I will comment it. And okay, push style we don't need, and show demo window we don't need, and we now need the push team. And on the end we pop the team. Instead of pop style, we say pop team. Now we save this, we close, and let's run again the script. Okay, oh, here is one thing that you must be aware at the current version of Style Editor. It is putting a prefix like ImGUI dot, and this is how you put on the ReaImGui demo ImGUI dot, because it is running it's running this code here to transfer all ImGUI functions to ImGUI table. But here we need to change the prefix, so I will just select all of these. Oops. I select all of these, Control F, and I will search for ImGUI dot. Only this area here. Oh my god. And I will exchange it for repair dot GUI. How is it again? Repair dot GUI underline. Okay, I will save this and try to run again. And here is our script with our team. And these are most of the basic things you need to know about ImGUI, but there is much more to learn. And next class we gonna start talking how to save things about your script. For example, saving presets. So we're gonna save the settings table that holds all of these buttons informations. And that will be our next class about saving information. So thank you for watching and goodbye.